يشكر الناس لم يشكر الله. Whoever does not thank people does not thank Allah. What does this hadith, this authentic hadith mean? It means three things. Number one, Allah will not value, listen carefully, Allah will not value the thanks a servant expresses to Allah. You know, when you say Alhamdulillah and you do all those three that I mentioned, they won't have value to Allah. Your acknowledgement of Allah's blessing, you're saying Alhamdulillah and using His blessings in the right way won't carry much value if at the same time that same servant does not have an attitude of thanking and showing appreciation to people who do good services for him or her. Why? Because the two are interconnected. The reason people are doing good for you is by whose permission? Allah. Is that not one of the blessings? Did we forget that the fact that a person intrinsically was given the nature of doing good, where did he get that nature from? He was born with a mind and a moral and intellect. The fact that he was able or she was able to give you that goodness, the fact that Allah facilitated the qadr, the whole circumstance for that person to choose to do good for you, is it not interconnected with Allah's will as well? It's hand in hand. Therefore, a bit from the person and its origin and source is from Allah. That person could not do it without Allah. And that person had choice to do good for you, therefore you owe two thanks. One for the person, and by doing so, you are thanking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It doesn't mean you're saying that person's Allah. No, you're thanking that person because it was because of Allah that person had the nature to come and thank you. And of course, we've got to acknowledge people's goodness because they had choice to do good as well. Do you understand this part? The second meaning for he has not thanked Allah, who does not have the habit of thanking people, is those who do not have a habit of thanking or showing gratitude to others who do a good favor for them will most likely not have a habit of showing thanks and gratitude to Allah. People usually who do not have a habit of wanting to thank people, it means they've got a little bit of arrogance in them. And usually, the person who has arrogance in them, you will find that in their life, they're not usually thanking Allah that much. Their words of remembrance are not many. And if they say them, they're quickened, they're not thinking about it, it's robotic. Their prayers are robotic. Their Quran is just, parroted. And if they pray, next minute they're backbiting people, or they're not really enthusiastic about it. Therefore, a person who doesn't have the habit of thanking people who do good favor for them generally won't really have the habit of thanking Allah properly. And the last meaning is, whoever does, right? Whoever does thank Allah, the meaning of the hadith, whoever does not thank people has not thanked Allah. It means whoever does thank Allah but does not thank people, then his or her thanking of Allah appears as if they're thanking Him, but they're not. So very similar in meaning. It's just a show. Alhamdulillah is a show. All right? An example of that is probably funny. Is like you and your mate, astaghfirullah, going to steal something from a shop. And your mate devises a plan, and you agree, and the plan works out, and you end up with more from that shop. Then you come out, and your mate goes, Alhamdulillah. And the other one says, Alhamdulillah that Allah gave me the ability to plan it, eh? It looks like you're thanking Allah, but you haven't. Because you used Allah's blessing in the way that He does not allow you. So you haven't thanked Allah. You understand? Some people will oppress other people and take their rights. And then they will make their own interpretation on behalf of God to justify their action, to turn it around, right? Gaslight. Just turn it around, manipulation. Say, Alhamdulillah that Allah took my right from you, and you know that you are the one who took their right. It happens all the time. Many examples like that. Thinking and showing gratitude to others who do good to you does not mean that they are the source of that good. Did we explain that part? Do we understand that part? When I thank someone, it doesn't mean I believe that person is the source of the good. Yeah, they are a means, but they're not the source. So who is the source? but that the source is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We explained how that is. That through His creation of the means and resources of facilitation, this has happened. For had it not been for Allah's creation of such intrinsic nature in man to want to do good, it would not exist. And had it not been for Allah to create the means for the manifestation of such goodness, no one could do any good, which opens up a question. But people do bad. Can't we apply the same principle to that? That they couldn't have done bad if Allah did not will and facilitate and allow for the bad to happen. Bad cannot happen if Allah did not create the bad. The answer is, yes, Allah created that there is bad in this earth and people can do it, but Allah also created the intrinsic nature to shun the bad and feel guilty about bad things. Look at the little child. A little child, are they naturally evil? Are they intrinsically evil? Are people created intrinsically evil? No. Babies are not evil. If you let them go, babies will be naturally instinctive in good nature, innocence. So Allah doesn't create us bad. He creates us good. But He put into us a test. We can choose to do the bad. He allows it, but He forbid it. So when you do the bad, He takes no part in it. So why is there bad? Bad exists in order to serve other purposes. You see, bad is in perspective of what you see bad. Sometimes something bad can happen to me where something good comes out of it. Isn't that true? For example, pain, we often think it's what? Good or bad? Pain. Pain is bad. But if I change the context and I put it into the gym, is pain good or bad? Good. An Olympian, the pain is tremendous, but in the context of an Olympian, is it good or bad now? It's good. Do you understand? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put bad so that we can know the good. And bad has goodness in it, but it depends how we use it. So, bad is our responsibility to stay away from, and Allah doesn't want it from it, and He forbid people using His means and resources for bad treatment of others. So Allah rewards the good, not the bad.